So then what else does
Speaking
that
of
cause? Oh yeah, oh for sure.
speaking of which, I want to share something here with
Yes,
you.
yes,
One second here. So, as you recall that well, not me, but shout out to Necron, who had discovered that uh, so, ZSJL was streaming in Germany in July, and
yes.
we covered that on the show. We even showed proof and everything. And long and behold, guess what just happened now? But for full transparency to everybody in the show, I changed my VPN this time, so that way I don't have any issues live, so I can log in this time. So
He's
it's
ahead of the game.
I'm ahead of the game. Hey, this is episode 4. You learn from your mistakes. We're getting
Oh
better
yeah,
and better every time.
absolutely.
So look where it's going to be in August.
That's a cool coming up list there. Got Terminator Zero, Chaos, ZSJL. That looks beautiful on Netflix, I must
It
say.
looks phenomenal.
Looks like
And
it's
we're
supposed to be
still going to get pushback from all the haters, all the factions from the Sanders camp, if you know, you know.
right, right.
Um, that no, don't believe what you see, don't listen what you're hearing, just believe us, the ex Twitter people, avatars who accounts are like a month old, maybe. Fuck y'all.
Right, right.
This shit is happening. This shit is happening.
Well,
First, we saw it in Germany, and now look
mhm,
where it's going. And shout out to Raw Talks because he also said a valid point on episode 1 that a lot of these streaming companies are licensing deals. They're contracts that need to be expired. So once they expire in certain areas, they can move to other areas. So right now, you're going to Spain. In Canada, they had it on Crave. So before they can have it on Netflix in Canada, it has to expire from Crave. And then probably later down the road, it'll show up in Canada and so on in other countries around the world. This shit is already happening, guys.
and that's the thing. Like the whole sell or hashtag sell ZSJ on Netflix. It's been happening. It's been occurring, and it's still occurring. It's just a
Yeah,
licensing deal to license a piece of content to a streaming platform. That's what the message is. That's what that flag is that's planted in the ground. And so that's the cool thing. We've seen that come to
that's another
fruition,
thing.
you know.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you. Thanks for reminding me that. What
Hmm.
was your first reaction when Scott Stuber mentioned the certain section of the fandom pushing Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix? What was the first thing that came to your head?
I My first reaction to that was it's about to no. No, actually my first reaction was I was like, this is really effing cool that he is being very specific because he could have just said Zach's fans, overall, or the Snyder community. He could have said something that was more monolithic, more blanketed, but he highlighted the fandom and then he highlighted the fandom within the fandom. He said a specific section of Zack
Section
Snyder's
of the
fandom.
fan. Yep. Like you said, factions here and there. We are
Yes,
a faction of the Zack Snyder fandom. Because yes, there's a
yes,
lot of people out there that Zack has certain groups here and there, blah blah blah. We are that faction that we were highlighted on that article with Stuber.
correct.
So
So here's the cool part too is that like here goes another, head of his position giving me an idea. And this time it's someone who was from a studio that is making sense, right? Mr. Scott Stuber himself, shout out to Scott Stuber. When he said that, I remember where I was. I do this weird thing sometimes. I'll recall where I was. I was in the bathroom. I'm like brushing my teeth and I'm reading this and I look and I was like, I said, that's funny. We don't have an official name. We're just all these different nicknames, the Cell Boys or hashtag Cell Movement or this, that, and the third. And I literally instantly what popped in my head was Zack Snyder Cell Movement. And I was like, well, now we have a name. So if we are ever mentioned again, that would be cool if a Scott Stuber were to say, Zack Snyder cell
Zack
movement.
Snyder cell
You know what I
movement.
mean? So I remember calling Sky literally right after that, and he was like, I was like, yeah, bro, that's it. ZSSM is born. So then I had tweeted it out. The Hub account tweeted it out as well, and that just from there, you know, caught fire. We had an official name, hashtag sells ZSJ, hashtag. Excuse me, I'm so used to saying the hashtag. The Zack Snyder Cell movement
ZSSM.
was
Yeah,
official. You know what I mean?
I still get trouble with the words also. So,
For sure, for sure.
but that takes me, now that you mentioned that, now that takes me to my next question. Besides the obvious goal of getting the Snyderverse sold or licensed, either way, to
Mhm.
Netflix, what other long-term goals do you guys have for the Zack Snyder Cell Movement brand and the Cell Movement?
The long-term goals have always been that, I guess, just basically we want to see the live action version of the Snyderverse be produced and created and cultivated by Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder on Netflix, right? And that's it. That's pretty much the only demands, quote unquote, that we've ever had, is just to simply say, like, they can do whatever they like with it. It could be a mini series, it could be several mini series, it could be 2 movies and they're done. Whatever they come up with, whatever plan and deal they structure out, whatever they think is worthy, necessary, and profitable, go for it, as long as it's live action, right? Um, we've even
So
gone as far.
live
Mhm.
action, or nothing. Pretty much that's
Oh,
what you're telling me,
1,000,
correct?
bro. Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Okay.
That and I've even gone as far as to say, and then others within the movement, including Sky, has agreed that we're okay with recasting. There's literally the details are very simple. We're not
Mm.
saying like you have to do this yet, because we understand the business side of things, because you highlighted like, oh, Apex Leon, the business guy of things. We understand the business side of things, which is certain things may not be able to be met, certain people may not be able to come back, certain things may not be able to be done. We get that.
Schedule conflicts or
Sure,
stuff like that,
sure.
or people, pass away, maybe, God forbid,
Yeah,
something
God forbid,
happens,
yeah,
so
people age out,
shit does
whatever.
happen. So yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Like we're even saying, look, if Zach and Netflix are passionate about this and they want to swing this to the point of like you recasting key characters, we're good with it. And I know like that. I don't think that we've gotten too much pushback, but me and predicting futuristic scenarios, I can imagine people trying to use that against us. But it's like, look, man, it is what it is. Certain things, you just have to accept. The certain realities have to be accepted if you want a goal championed. And the only real goal is, you know, Zach getting his baby back. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah,
So
I've always
in
said
live
like,
action.
I've always said like, for instance, I know there's a lot of like, Amber Heard, for instance, got a lot of heat, because of the divorce situation with Johnny Depp here and there. And yeah, some people wanted to cancel this and that. Me personally, and again, this is just my personal take on it. If Zach wants Amber back and Netflix has no problem, I really don't care. It's because at the end of the day, Zach is the one helming the ship. If he says, I want
I
Amber,
share
give her Amber.
I
If
share that same sentiment, bro. Literally, I share that same sentiment.
if Netflix says, you know what, it's too much baggage, we can't do this because shareholders this and that. Okay, fine, whatever. But like again, the business side. If business does not conflict with what Zach needs to do to finish a story, then have at it. If there's a problem, okay, we work around it, we adjust, but at the end, we get that goal. And speaking of that, like when this is successful, because I think it will, it's just a matter of time because
At this
WBD
point, they almost have no
is
choice.
they're going. Yeah, we'll get to that subject
Absolutely.
in a few seconds.
Hmm.
Um, when you guys are successful with the campaign, what comes next for the community and for the ZSSM movement, for the brand? I'm sorry, that's what I mean.
Part of me wants to say we'll get there. We'll approach that when we get there. But I think just for me personally, I just want to celebrate. Um, I'm taking some flights, taking some drives, meeting up with some people. Obviously, those within ZSSM, the Syndicate Network, and just have a good time, party up, pop some champagne, and just celebrate like we just watched our championship team win. I don't have any
Mm.
uh, I don't have any aspirations in terms of like, oh, what can I gain from this? It's never even been about that for me. Not necessarily like the question is hinting at that, but I just know like that's kind of been one of the underlying conversations of hey, these guys are trying to get clout. That was kind of a thing early on, and it's like, what clout do I gain from this? I don't even show my face half the damn time. Like I'm busy 99% of the time, and I do this when I can with full passion. So it's never been about like, if it's been about clout, I'll be doing way I'd be moving way
If you're
differently.
making money, yeah,
Facts. I'd be moving way
yeah.
differently than
So
this,
I'm the same way. I when Charles and I got together for the first time and
Mhm.
discussed the platform and what we're going to do. And then later we brought in Raw Talks, and then we integrated him to the family. So now it's the three of us.
Right, right.
At first I told him, listen, dude, I have no interest in clout. I have no interest in controlling narratives. I just want to have a chat with my friends, my online friends, and the community itself. And obviously, we're going to be branching out and meeting and bringing other people from other platforms, different factions from the Snyder movement, because we want to bring our goal is to be a bridge that bring everybody together. Will we accomplish
I
that?
like that.
Time will tell. Time will tell. But our goal was always to, let's just geek out, have fun, support what we love, talk about what we love, rant about what we hate, and that's
Right.
going to be the next topic that I wanted to talk to you about.